Imagine one day you were suddenly told that you were not born like the rest of your family members or siblings. If you were told that, you will obviously say that you were born from your parents, from your mom, right? But what if they told you that you were wrong? What if they told you that your mother never carried you in her womb or gave birth to you, but a machine actually did? The process in which this is going to occur is going to be called ectogenesis. Recently, there has been many articles stating that in the recent future, in about 30 years, ectogenesis is going to be the new way of giving birth. As I have read many articles and wrote about ectogenesis this year, I have learned that there is many positives and negatives about it. By learning more about ectogenesis, you will understand the different ways that our future is going to change towards when it comes to giving birth. First, I will talk about what is ectogenesis, then I will tell you about the positives and negatives, and lastly, I will tell you about its implications to American society. So, what is ectogenesis? According to Victoria Willison, an article posted on Mail Online on August 14, 2014, she said that a 1924 scientist named J.N.B. Hollisting predicted that in the year 2074, natural births will drop by 70%. The reason this will happen will be because of ectogenesis. In Iceland Sultan's article, Artificial Wombs Are Coming, but the controversy is already here, an article posted on August 4, 2014, he states how a doctor named Dr. Ching Lu from a reproductive laboratory tested a human embryo inside a artificial womb. The embryo grew in for 14 days and it successfully grew, but it was only allowed to be experimented 14 days because humans are not allowed to be experimented with longer than that. Iceland also talks about a doctor named Dr. Yoshinari that tested a goat embryo for 14 days, and as you see here, it actually did grow. Iceland also says that ectogenesis is going to be a simple but perplexing process. As you see here, the fetus will be inside an artificial womb filled with amniotic fluid, and the fetus will be fed through tubes and given its nutrients and all that. It will be monitored 24/7 by a computer or a person, and the parents of the child will be able to visit it whenever they want. Now that I told you what ectogenesis is going to be and what it will consist of, I will now tell you its positives and negatives. First, I will start off with positives. As Samantha Allen states in her article, Artificial Wombs Will Affect the Feminist, she states that homosexuals will be able to have their own child. As of now, only women and men can have children, but if a woman donates her eggs to a man, he will be able to have a child, and the man will not need to interact with the woman. She would just donate her eggs to him. And as Iceland's article, he states that women would not have to take time off of work during pregnancy because women, usually when they're pregnant, they take off several months off of work, and that affects them because they could lose job opportunities or promotions and all that. And she also states how middle-aged women could have a child if they want to without going through any difficulties. Today, like the oldest age you could have a child is 40-something without having to go through the trial to be affected with problems or something. Now I'll tell you about the negatives ectogenesis will bring to American society. Feminists will feel that science will be taking away from them the sacred ability of giving birth. As of now, since females are the only ones able to give birth, feminists will feel that science will be taking away from them something really important to them. And women will lose that emotional bond with their child if it is not inside of their womb. Since the child will not be inside of the womb, the mother will never feel its kicks and all of that, so they will lose that connection. And children born artificially could also be the outcast of society. Since ectogenesis is going to be pretty expensive, not everyone can have their children artificially, so most likely they may get laughed at or something. Now that I've told you the positives and negatives about ectogenesis, I will talk about its implications to American society. So first, for those who choose the ectogenesis route, they will never feel any pain or sickness through the whole pregnancy or process. will allow men to have their own child, and women will be able to abort the child and transfer it to an artificial womb so that the father or charity can look after it. So if a mother wanted to abort her child, but the father wanted it, she could transfer it into an artificial womb so that the father or charity could take over it. For those who do not go with ectogenesis, they will still go through the painful process of giving birth, but women that do not go with it will still have that emotional bond with their child. Now that I talked to you about what ectogenesis is going to be, and the positives and negatives about it, and the implications it will have in American society, I will want to conclude that in the future, women are going to have children artificially, and they probably have a good reason for wanting to do so, so we should not be judgmental of which route they decide to